Welcome to the Everyday Awesome Project, where we bring you inspirational stories and game-changing strategies to live your most awesome life. Hey, superstars, welcome back. Paula here.
And Sam Pruitt, what's up, beautiful humans?
Yay, it's so good to be together again.
We're together, and you're on the road, which
I'm on the
is
road.
so good for your soul and mine. And actually, the entire
Yeah.
universe is being fed because you're on the road.
I agree. I think my mom said, you're just better when you're on the road, and I'm like, yeah, it just is like my happy place, or like it's somehow my body, my, what do you call it? My well-being is fed by travel. I don't know what that
Mhm.
is, but I just
Yeah,
got
and
that
you're
in
on
my
the road
DNA.
in your home with four wheels. So to be clear, you're not
Yeah.
like. So that's also a really wonderful thing. You can take the cats, you have your
Mhm.
stuff, you can work, you can be really productive and also just be out exploring. It's this really nice balance.
It is. It's like my traveling apartment. I love it. I love it. So, well, let's dive in because we have a fun topic today, the truth, our truth about cleansing and detoxes, because somebody is doing one of these right at the moment, right?
Oh, I am in the middle of one. It's been
Um,
quite interesting. And you and I have been doing them off and on for a very long time. So as we have worked, 25, 30 years on our physical bodies, and we can talk about how we sort of even came to discovering cleanses and detoxes. We should talk about that. But we understand the value. And we want to really be clear today that the reason we're imparting it to our audience is yes, I'm in the middle of one, and isn't that a gay old time for everybody around me, including me? But they're really powerful. And your
mm,
health, your physical body is complicated, right? There's so many things now in our everyday environments, the environment, air, water, etc., impurities or whatever, food intake, things we put on our skin, things that we expose ourselves to, have a massive impact on how our body is either going to stay in homeostasis and in healthy balance or get out of balance and then start to have a negative consequence, a streamline downstream, consequence in our health in myriads of ways, only because it's just not functioning at its highest level. And why wouldn't we want it to?
mm.
You
I
know?
don't know why, as you started to say that, the metaphor that came to me was, we take our car in for an oil change, change the filter, replace, change the oil out, replace the air filter, replace the oil filter and stuff because things get clogged up in it, right? And there's parts of our body, little do some people realize, that are the funnels or the filters, how our people don't quite understand. And I didn't know for a long time, like you were talking, I love what you're alluding to about like there's so many elements, right? And people don't understand yet, and we're going to talk about these things, we'll go into it, of like how the interplay of physical and emotional and spiritual, we can get blocked up in various ways and they interact with each other. You can have a backed up filter in one part of your body and feel the emotional imbalance in another area, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt that the function or whatever level of functioning or lack thereof there might be in these various systems, organs, and systems of the body, they will have a massive impact on how you feel. Well, first of all, just walking around in your skin,
Mm,
in this bone and muscle bag, how I actually feel, the amount of energy I have, the clarity of my brain, but also the impact on my emotions. Will I be more prone to anxiety or depression because the body is literally bogged down? Or will I just not really feel like myself, tapped into the energy I need to get through my day? Never mind, go out and do cool, epic things. So let's just start with that really like basic foundational, what the heck is a detox
mm-hmm,
slash cleanse?
mm-hmm.
And then we'll get into all the different opportunities around that and why people might consider it for themselves. And along the way, I will share what I'm doing, of course.
For sure, for sure. And
Yeah.
and I think a fundamental thing of cleanse, detox, are they the same? I would say so. They're just, there's new fad words or whatever, So like I think we've heard for a lot of times like the juice cleanse and, the fruit cleanse or the cabbage, diet or whatever. So really a cleanse, detox are moving out or helping the body push out toxins that get into the body. We get it in our water, we get it in our air, we get it in, the pesticides in our food, whatever it is, our hand creams, lotions, like the body is just all these organs coming in and it gets backed up and it can infect your immune response in various ways we'll go into. But helping the body to cleanse and detox in such a you know, our world has gotten more toxins coming into us, is assisting the body so that, I liken it to one of the things that I notice with people who get colds, like if I get a cold, a lot of times people get like after the holidays, it's like it's actually a cold to me now is your body's cleansing. Like I look at those the same. Is like, oh, your body got over toxified, it got too many chemicals, too many somethings, too many impurities in it and the mucus, like imagine, like what I learned of is like when you have mucus, you have cough, things coming out, it's like your brain is stuffed up with fluids and then it starts draining. That's the body's way
Hmm.
of going, I got to get these things out of the blood, out of the organs and out of the body. Sneezing, snot, stuff like that.
Yeah, the body is sending you very clear messages of the internal environment, whether it's your microbiome or what's going on in your immune system or your lymphatic system. We'll talk about all these different systems. There is inflammation and products being produced, and phlegm is a great example of that, telling you very clearly that the internal environment of your body is currently not functioning.
Overloaded.
Unfortunately, people then go, well, I should definitely get this antibiotic or drink this cold medicine or do something to take those symptoms down so I can get on about my busy life, which is actually completely counterproductive to how the physical body works and what you should be doing to nurture the natural immune response and the systems of the body so it can clear it on its own and become stronger because of it, not just
Yeah.
push that crap back down, let it simmer like a low grade infection or a low grade fungal bacterial infection, like what I was nursing for freaking 6 months, or
Mm,
something even worse, where
mm,
it compromises part of the body or one of the organs of the body. And ultimately, that's what happens if we don't take care of it and allow it to come
mm.
out. Get it
Yeah.
out, get it out.
And I think at this point, just helping people understand some of the organs, some of the systems that are involved in purifying or, filtering the things that our body takes in, whether we inhale something, we digest something, something gets on our skin, whatever, right? So we're mostly in the detoxification. A lot of organs can play a part, but largely it's your liver, your kidneys, skin, and gut,
Mhm.
okay, that are responsible for that in varying levels. So just when we're talking about cleansing and whatnot, it's largely those organs that are involved in this. So some play a really key part, like our liver and our kidneys. People kind of know that that's what the purpose of them is, but some people don't understand like the lymphatic system and that whole, that we'll go into, right? Or your
Mhm.
skin, like, and sweating and all of this. So just want to talk about that. So in a
Well, let's
cleanse,
talk real quick about this is kind of the gross part, but I want to just get it out of the way early.
yeah,
Let's just
the pooping. Are we
yeah,
talking about
we're
poop?
going to be talking about real life things here, people. Brace yourselves, okay? How else would anything come out of the human body? Okay, so we have obviously we poop
Yeah.
and we pee. So I
Hmm.
think most people, God, I think
Yeah.
everybody listening to this understands pooing and peeing at this point, right? They're grown adults and they've been doing that for a long time. But also, toxins are excreted through your sweat, through
Hmm.
your skin, the glands in your skin. So they do come out through your sweat. Sweating is so good for you.
Yeah.
Through breathing,
Breathing.
coming
Yeah.
out of the air in your body. And you'll know this is really obvious when
Mhm.
you're around somebody who is sick or
Mm.
in a house of sick people and it doesn't smell good. Or you go into someone's house, maybe older people or an environment where people have been sick, and you literally can smell the sickness. It's a real thing
For
that
sure.
all of us are excreting toxins through our breath every day, all time. And
Yeah.
that's why open the damn windows
Mm.
and get outside.
Mm.
Otherwise, you're literally breathing back in that same air into your physical body.
Hmm.
If you're around sick people, why do you think you get sick so easily? Like, I mean, don't be breathing in that air. You need to get fresh air. So, anyway, that was just my little rant. I had to put that out there.
Yeah. And one thing I want to double click on that you were talking about is elimination.
elimination,
Right. So
the
these are
pathways.
so it's the ways the body is eliminating what it doesn't want to hold on to, like toxins, things that it's, processed, right? Your poop comes out, your pee comes out, the things that it's taken what it needs, and sometimes not what it needs, but it's hold on to, and then it eliminates what it doesn't need. And sometimes things get put into the body or impurities or whatnot. People sodas, diet sodas just drives me nuts that people still haven't, gotten that. Like there's all these impurities that the body goes, oh, let me hold on to that over here, put it in the fat cells. And when the body is under a lot of stress, whether it's emotional stress, physical stress, toxic stress, like impurities or whatever,
Chronic
non-organic
inflammation.
things like that. Like
Hmm.
it won't release or eliminate things that it's holding on to unless it says, oh, this is okay. So when you start it, and we'll go into maybe like the process of a cleanse, but you'll
Yeah.
see that like the stages of it when the body goes, oh, it's okay to release, right? Like then it starts to release it. So we're talking about elimination, getting those things out of the body. Right on.
And maybe, it's really, well, we all went to health science, didn't we? I mean, somewhere along the line. But I don't really even know what that education looks like anymore because it's not at
Yeah.
all what ended up being the reality for me as I started to understand how my body actually works and
Yeah.
to how to heal my physical illnesses and my mental and emotional illnesses. I learned how the body worked then, later as an adult. So we're taught this very basic stuff. But I mean, people just think that somehow things are going in and they're just magically making their way out. I think primarily through poo and pee, and that's a very small piece of the equation, right? There's the whole circulatory system that's circulating blood through and all of that. And then the lymphatic system, as we're going to discuss too. But all of those garbage collectors, if you will, right, are going around through the body and then moving that process through these filtering organs, the
Hmm.
organs that you just mentioned, and then they're getting excreted out through
Hmm.
the cleanse pathways. So
Or
that's just
if,
very
or they,
basic, big picture stuff.
things get stopped up too,
Or they don't get moved through. Yeah.
Yeah, because when people have IBS, irritable bowel system, or you have fatty liver, right? It's like those organs, those parts of the natural detoxification elimination system have just been overworked. Fatty liver is like, you're giving me too much here. I can't eliminate it. I can't get rid of it. Or I feel like I have to hold on to it because there's other things that I'm fighting, in the body, right? In terms of inflammation. So,
Or people
um,
get their appendix removed, they've got pancreas issues. There's all these other organs too that are inside the systems that are trying their damnedest to help the systems and the organs in place work, but we're just clogging them up.
yeah, yeah. And I would say, one of the things that I've heard, and I can't say this, and everything that we say, Samantha and I say, is we're not physicians, we're not doctors. This is not
Personal experience
advice.
here.
This is not a prescription. Go do this. This is talk to your professionals, blah, blah, blah. Check, double check all the things that we say. But this is our opinion of personal experience of how we've lived our lives and what we've experienced. The amount of people that don't understand all the things that are coming in, right? And
Mhm.
and ways that, why would I even need to cleanse? And I think people don't even recognize the symptoms that your body's overloaded. Like, how I, started to look back and go, oh, that cold you have that a lot of people get come, right before New Year's or right after New Year's is like, you've been partying hard, you've been not been sleeping, you've been a lot of stress and spending a lot of money and taking in a lot of family foods and pies and things that you're not used to taken in. Oh, that cold that everybody gets, guess what? That's one of the signs. So I just want to talk about, why when your body is crying out for a reset, like
Yeah.
some of the like the tipping point. Okay. So, your bodies are designed to detox. Like, thank God it knows what to do, right? Like it's already doing it, right? And we just get this unprecedented burden of other things. And some would say everybody in the world right now, thank you, Roundup and Monsanto, for introducing that horrible product, is walking around with some version or flavor of a leaky gut. We'll go into that, maybe later. So we all need to support this, right? The environment is just so massively intruding upon our body's ability to detox and remove these things. That's why I think we have rampant autoimmune diseases, right? So the toxins from our food, environment, and stress, and a cleanse is a way to hit that reset. But if you have things like persistent fatigue, and I don't mean you're a new mom and you're managing small children and stuff like that, but like persistent fatigue in your life, skin issues, right?
Hmm.
Like yours, I think you had the rosacea, rash, acne. Oh my God, when
Oh, acne,
I want to
acne.
talk about my acne and like that whole journey. Brain fog, joint pain, headaches, bloating, irritable
Hmm.
bowel, your movements are either backed up or not moving once a day smoothly. So it can also be on the emotional front that symptoms occur. Mood swings, irritability, difficulty concentrating, lack of focus, and just emotional drain, right? Like these things that we just go, oh, that's just the way that I am. That's the way that life is. I mean, take a look. Like that you're listening to this episode, I hope, kind of pointing to, what is the truth about this? Is there something in here for me? So those are just some of the symptoms. Do you want to talk about maybe some of your symptoms and how you, on your recent one, why you
Yeah.
looked, yeah.
Yeah. And as a precursor to that, like I was just thinking about my own journey, which has been,
Yeah.
complicated. 25, I keep saying 25 years. Soon I'm going to have to say 30 because I just aged up again.
Yeah.
Um, sure, a lot of things initially might show up in the gut
Mm,
because a lot of people will associate what I put into my mouth is causing some kind of gut issue, diarrhea, constipation, everything in between, right?
yeah.
So we'll tend to look at that process, if you will, first when things have gone awry. But there's so many other, and that's obviously glaringly obvious. If that's not functioning, we have a big problem, leaky gut, or there's 100,000 things that could be going on with your gut. So you got to deep dive into that. But the skin rashes. So I have forever gotten skin rashes way before I was diagnosed with celiac. It
Mm.
started in the very beginning as a skin rash. So of course I was like, Western medicine, let me go to the
Get
dermatologist
some
because
creams.
I have a skin rash.
Yeah.
And why all
Yeah.
of a sudden am I getting skin rashes on my face and neck? And they're like, oh, here's some steroid cream. Rub that on there. Stop the itching. I'm like, but I'm pretty sure it's something I'm putting in my mouth because when I eat,
It
I
happened.
have a skin rash reaction relatively quickly, whether it's within now it's literally within half an hour or an hour. Like it's like that.
That,
But it would be the
wow.
next day or whatever. I said, so I feel like there's a correlation. And they'd say, no. I said, are you telling me my skin has nothing to do with what I eat or the water I drink or anything that I drink? No, nothing to do. What in the hell? I mean, this is really fascinating. And
Oh,
I know this was 25 years ago, so I do hope they're more
yeah.
educated now.
Yeah.
So
We,
I guess I'm just proving, and then of course I went down the journey of all these other traditional Western doctors. I'm not dissing Western medicine. There is a time and a
yes,
place
we are. No, well,
for Western medicine in some instances.
true.
But listen, people, if your body, you know your body. So I'm the expert of this body.
Mm.
No office I walk into, and now I do functional medicine and naturopath and all this stuff, but no office I walk into or doctor I'm seeing or nurse practitioner or whomever knows my body better than me. I need to be the expert. So you need to come empowered to this conversation with us today and with any practitioner or path that you choose to take.
You need to just double click on that because that is not how a lot of people operate. So
Mm-hmm.
you and I are operating inside of being empowered in our physical well-being and those sorts of things. But most people go somewhere where there's a white lab coat and they hand their power right over to that person and say, you tell me what I need. And it's like, no, that
Yeah.
person can be your advisor. They can, check, like even one of my mentors, she's like, yeah, I just talked to ChatGPT and then see, like it's got even more information, I would say, these days than some of these doctors,
Mm-hmm.
so just tread lightly. I would say I am not a huge fan. I think there's a emergency basis that Western medicine can definitely step in, and you've broken a leg, you've, hurt yourself bad, whatnot. But a lot of them are just going to surface it. They're going to like give you, especially depression. Let's give you antidepressant. Oh, you've got skin stuff. Let's give you some creams. Like, no, like you said, there's more going on.
Well,
So,
Western medicine, how they're trained is specifically to somebody already is in a disease state. So, right there, it's not a proactive, it's a reactive
yeah,
way of operating in the world with the
yeah,
body. So, already we're saying, please be empowered to be proactive. Don't be reactive. Don't wait till you're terminally ill to go, like, let's
yeah.
try and get on top of these things now. heal the systems of the body so it can function at its highest level now by being proactive and empowered. So
Mm.
even if you're choosing to go those paths, you have insurance or whatever your rationale is for however you're going about your medical care, come into the room empowered with the information and already knowing what you want to accomplish. So the Samantha then versus the Samantha now who walks into these offices is a very different person. I
Totally.
literally sometimes walk in with books. I always walk in with a notepad. I have 50, and they're like, whoa. I mean, they're used to me now, but I also choose functional medicine and practitioners now who will that, want
They
that from
embrace
me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all about it.
Yeah.
So it could be showing up in skin rashes. That's how my origins were. But then it was very quickly constipation, diarrhea, all the myriad of the things just started falling down after that because it went on for so long. It
Yeah.
went on and on and on until my issues wore down so many other parts of my physical body. That's the downstream effects. If
Mm.
I had been able to catch it earlier on in the game, 5 years of being sick is a lot of deterioration.
Mm.
And frankly, I should be thankful that I'm alive and I'm as healthy as I am now, which shows you the miraculous nature of detoxification and also healing of the body, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to show up different for everybody. I would say if you don't feel good, you don't feel good. I
Mm.
mean, do you have to have blisters all over your face to take care of this, or do you have to not be pooping for a week to take care of this? No. If you don't feel good, you don't feel good. It
And
can change. Let's get busy working on it
and I think address it right away. Like,
immediately.
I think people are, like some things not recognized, so acne. Like I just, growing up as a young something, teenager, 20, whatever, it was like, "Well, everybody's got acne, right?" I don't think people knew. I remember when I went to a esthetician years later, in my 30s or 40s, and she was aware, like she could see in the she was coaching her young
Mhm.
teenage students or whatever, college students or whatever that would come to her for acne in addressing it with dairy. It was like, oh, are you eating dairy? Okay, that's a big one. That's going to do this, and those sorts of things. Nobody ever told me as a teenager with acne, it was all about getting the best, let's say, skincare products, not treating it from within. So and I
Mhm.
even had adult acne, and I just was like, I'm one of those that just has adult acne, like it's like, no, I was, overloading my body with alcohol and sugar or whatever, mostly I would say my adult acne, I think, was the alcohol. So when I took the alcohol out, it was like totally clear. And when I have a drink or like if I notice those like a pimple, it's either I've put on too much SPF, and it kind of
Mhm.
clogged the pores or something like that, or alcohol. It's like amazing. It just boom, right? But
Mhm.
I just walked around thinking, oh, I've just got adult acne, right? So yeah, skin is a big indicator, and you can see it in people's skin when they have health and vitality that just it looks thriving. So, you
Well,
know,
it's one of the 4 elimination pathways of the body, right? So if
comes
something
out.
exactly. So now if I get little blisters, so I was doing this detox, and before I was getting these little blisters here, and it's a bacterial fungi in my small intestine. I mean, literally the blisters, boop, just pop right here, boop, 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 boop. And I mean, it's not acne; it's literally blisters, like itchy,
Mm,
burning
mm,
blisters or whatever.
mm.
It comes out of the skin so quickly. It's like, nope, nope, you know better than this, or I need to get this out. So I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you,
Yeah,
rosacea, whatever all the things are. So
yeah,
skin, well, we're talking about some of the ways that people can identify. I think they get it. If you don't
yeah.
feel good and your body's talking to you, please listen.
And let's talk some of the other side, like the benefits of cleansing. So he's talking about like, what the symptoms are. So, one of the things is when your liver is overloaded, your liver processes everything you consume.
Everything.
And if it's constantly overwhelmed by sugar, alcohol, like, in my case, oftentimes, it's just not as efficient, right? And, fatty
Mhm.
liver, I mean, it's, yes, that it can, regenerate and stuff, but not if we just destroy it and, beat it up. So a cleanse, detoxification gives your liver a rest that it needs to effectively filter those toxins again. So it's like taking in like an oil change. It's like, oh, the car works better, right? You want to take care of your precious car or whatever. Like get the oil changed, you get the air filters changed, you get the oil filters changed, right? Do the same for your body. And
It's a filter system. That's actually the perfect analogy you just
it is.
used, right?
It
Because
is.
these are filter systems of the body. If the filter is clogged with fat, toxins, et cetera, how is it going to be filtering?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not. Well, and here's, whew, yeah, I got a couple examples of oil fit. Like I hadn't realized in my motorhome there was some air filter that people had been missing, whatever. And so my recent mechanic, he's like, takes it out. It was so bad. I was like, oh my God, that, I've been taking it in for oil changes, but they didn't, it was like, holy smokes, this thing is horrible. And I just, the filter, I don't know. There's, people talk about, elimination and whatnot, but if we can't get the filter to process it, like one of my favorite lines too, and I'm drinking water here is, and I always have purified water. One of my favorite quotes from some guy who was like all into water. He's like, if you don't buy a filter, you become a filter. Like if you're not pre-filtering your water, your body's doing it. And just think of like all the things that RO and these different systems take out of, city water, let's say, to
Mhm.
not have that in your body, heavy metals, all sorts of things. So, all right, next is your gut health, right?
Mhm.
So the liver is, detoxifying, cleansing. We understand the pooping, right? So that's your channel where a lot of things are being absorbed, right? And the body is, and I would say they say 80% of your immunity or your immune system, what do they call it? Your white blood cells are on the lining of your gut. They're just like
Mhm.
your little army protecting for things coming out of that gut lining is what is protecting you from everything that's coming through your body, if you will. The gut microbiome plays a direct role in detoxification. 80% of your immune system is working on your gut. And so a damaged gut lining, leaky gut. I mean, I would say I can't remember some of the studies that I've read, but they talk about if you have disease, you have a leaky gut. Like it's
Mhm.
stemming, it stems from your gut is leaking things into your body, into your organs, and just,
I think people should just look that up because most people maybe have not even heard of that term leaky gut. But
mhm,
I would suspect 90% of the population has leaky gut,
mm,
and it is the root of most disease states. So just start there with that like foundational
yeah,
pause moment.
yeah,
Google leaky gut, read
yeah,
it, and if you don't have half of those symptoms, I will be shocked.
mm, mm.
If
And
you're living in the Western world, if you're coming from another planet, you might not have experienced these things, but if you're living in the Western world, you definitely have.
you know what? I'm starting to realize I didn't see this episode as becoming a part two, like a one and two, but I don't think we're going to cover everything because, like, we'll talk about cleanses and detoxes and what they are and the benefits of it, but like getting down into brass tacks of like, this is what I mean, you have a whole protocol right now, and you and I have both done different kinds. And,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so lots of benefits. I don't think there's a downside to cleansing and detoxing. Is there a downside?
No, there is not a down. Well, okay, yes. Yes, there is. The
The crumminess?
downsides, well, if we talked a little bit about our history with doing cleanses
Mm,
and detoxing, and
yeah.
I shared with you, and you might have some similar experiences, it's really, really important that you come to the desire to do one with the right intentions.
Yeah.
So, historically, what I was taught as a young person is the reason you do the cabbage soup and the
Mm.
then is you're losing weight. You want to lose weight, you want to lose weight, you want to get
Oh,
skinny, you want to lose weight. And so the focus was on that. It wasn't at all about health. Nobody gave two shits about whether we were healthy or not. We were literally starving ourselves, trying to be skinny or lose weight or whatever the dynamic was,
right.
change our body's physical appearance. And so we were doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy, unsafe, ridiculous, nothing scientific whatsoever, not reality based stuff. And I think a
Hmm.
lot of people get sold that on the internet. Okay. And it used to be all these other places that we would get sold these ideas and these concepts and these programs because we didn't have the internet. But
Yeah.
somehow people found us and sold us things. Okay. So nowadays, it's pervasive. It's really toxic.
Mm.
So I just want to say that there is a downside that if you're coming to this party with that intention, weight loss specifically, or changing the look of your physical body, that's not at all the reason to be doing these things. And it can actually be quite harmful. And there are
Mm.
a lot of these things out there. that maybe you will temporarily lose weight, but they will be at the cost of your health. What
Mm,
we're prescribing and saying is completely the polar opposite of that.
mm,
We are looking to build our health,
mm.
build the physical body back up,
Support. Yeah.
including in the organs and the systems, so we can best function, best perform, live a long, healthy, well life, mentally and physically. And
Hmm.
so be careful,
Mm.
right? Make sure that you are reading the actual science. You are with trusted practitioners. You are in programs if you need one, or if you're doing this yourself, that's fine, where you have trusted resources that are scientifically based, and lean on people who have the expertise in this area. You and I have 30 years of experience doing it, but we are not these practitioners. I did go to school and study holistic health, and that's how I healed my body the first go round. So now I practice functional medicine and different things, but it's taken a long time and I still am learning. And it's
And
always
practicing it
evolving
not like a doctor, but you mean like you put it
on
into
myself.
practice in your life. You put it into practice in your life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Practical practice, if you will. And
Yeah.
I think one of the pieces of advice I would say that I didn't get that I want to maybe say now is don't jump in the deep end if you've never done this before. Like do not go "Bloop." Like I felt like I jumped in the deep end. I did a because on the recommendation from a friend, she's like, oh yeah, I do these cleanses and this and that. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. And I did a 21-day, mostly
Girl.
no food, supplement, raw, la la la, and there's lots of cleanses we can go into that. But don't jump in the deep end. Start in the shallow end, walk in, because if you have, I find too many people have like gone too far into the deep end and then they like, oh, I don't want to swim anymore. Like I don't need to do that anymore. But your body still wants the detoxification and the support. So step gradually into it. Find, some, and we'll give you some resources in the show notes of cleanses that we've done, things, protocols, but
Yeah.
walk into it.
Doesn't
Maybe
have to be
it
extreme.
can be 24 hours. You can do it.
Totally.
You can start with 24 hours, right? Like some of it could be quote fasting or, water cleanse or juice, something like that. You'd be amazed some results you could see just from that fast, but you have been going through a multi-week supported cleanse because you've got
Yeah.
something really going on in your gut, so as you need more advanced support to help the body detox, step into the deeper end as you need it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Most of the ones I've done have been like 7 days, but
Hmm.
there's 24 hours, there's 3 days or 7 days. It has to work into your life, if you whatever that looks like. So you have to make room for it. So if it's a long weekend, 3 day, it's easier to make room for that. And maybe you're doing that quarterly versus like if you're doing a big intensive, like a once a year, then it can maybe be a little bit longer. But you literally have to carve out time and space, mental, physical, emotional space to allow yourself. It's a healing moment. So if I was healing my mental state
Surgery or like post surgery or something,
or healing from a surgery, healing from an injury, healing from an
mhm.
emotional trauma, I wouldn't be like,
Oh, I'm gonna go run it.
extreme about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And it's the same. And so I think there's environmental things that you need to set up. Oftentimes cleanses have, protocols with either supplements or food plans or, whatever. So you got to go get the foods and, prepare yourself and then prepare the people in your life. Hey, y'all, I'm not going to be eating what you're eating, or we're not going to be eating that, or, enroll them if you can on, doing it with you. That's the best because it can be
That is the best.
very challenging when you're the one cleansing, detoxing, everybody's eating hamburgers and French fries around you. It's like that's not, that doesn't feel so good. And having that support, that emotional support, like, hey, are you bought into I'm doing this for myself and this is why, right? So
Exactly.
huge. And then oftentimes cleanses, I don't know about you, but you're gentle on the physical plane as well, right? So this isn't a time to go doing your CrossFit workouts or
You
your
can't be telling me that.
endurance running. Well, you
I am doing those things, but let's just say I'm doing those in a different gear.
yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
am not going into third and fourth gear at all during this. I mean,
Mhm.
technically, it's going to end up being like a 90-day because I've had some start and stops,
Yeah,
but it would
yeah,
have been a 60-day protocol. So
yeah.
I'm doing first and second gear workouts only.
I would just say what I have experienced, if I'm doing a 3-day or a 5-day or even a 7-day, I will either do walking, yoga, light movement. Definitely movement is good to help that lymphatic and cleansing, if you will, but
Hmm.
it's not about getting your heart rate up to a certain peak, whatever. Because sometimes depending on the cleanse you're on, like I've been on ones that don't have a lot of food, they have nutrients, right? But not a lot of mastication, chewing, if you will. And so your body just doesn't have all the things, the energy to give it as well from food. So just manage that, if you will. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then how long you do is really up to like, what are your symptoms? Like, you
How
judging for
severe is it?
yourself. Yeah, yeah. You're really bad, So I had, a candida outbreak that I was fighting for, over a year, doing some supplements and things like that. And I would say I wasn't doing a great job of cleansing and supporting. I was still like, I wasn't quite aware of what was going on and what was causing it. Because my naturopath had said, well, candida is a tough one to fight. And so I was like, oh, okay. But I wasn't always supporting the help. So
Hmm.
choose what you need, right? So, all right. I would say, people don't know that, like we were alluding to, a lot of elimination, like, oh, okay, so I do a juice, like that's something I drink in my mouth, or I do a cabbage cleanse or something like that.
Supplements. There's
But
supplements or shakes.
it's surprising, like one of the biggest cleansing your lymphatic system, right? So I just want to talk a little bit about the importance of
Number one.
your lymphatic system is your body's sewage system, right?
First of all, do people even know what the lymphatic system is?
Well, you're the expert. You're the walking Wikipedia. So, I know about my glands, my sweat glands and things like that, some of your nodes and, whatnot, but
Yeah. The lymphatic system is the primary garbage transportation company of the human body, not the blood and circulatory system. I do think people think that that is, but
yeah.
actually, there's 3 times as much lymphatic system fluid in the body than there is blood.
Mm,
3 times.
mm, mm.
Okay. And these lymph nodes that are scattered throughout your entire body are literally there to gather the fluid and take the trash out. It's literally the primary system of the body that does that. So it moves
Mhm.
fluid throughout the body, it helps stabilize all the fluids, but it really is just pushing them through, taking the bad cells out because this happens, right? The
They
body,
die off. Yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
cells die off. Yeah.
autophagy and all of the things that happen with cells. There's a whole other conversation around that, but those cells have to come out of the body. And that's how they get out of the body. They go through the lymphatic system. So
Hmm.
if that isn't working, then that edema, swelling, and all of that inflamed bad cellular tissue or damaged cells are just sitting in the physical body. And you'll see it,
Yeah.
like you can see it in the skin. And you can,
Yeah.
people, it's kind of almost easy to see it on people a lot of the times, unfortunately. So the only way that that system actually works is through muscle contraction
And breath. Yeah. Yeah.
and breath. Well, that's contraction. So again,
Okay.
it's the movement. Yeah. So it's contraction
Yes.
within the body that
Yeah.
allows that system to pump. It's a pump system, right? But it doesn't just pump on its own. Like a lot of things in the body have pumps.
Like a heart. Yeah. Yeah. Or lungs,
It's
I
amazing. We're
know.
so amazing. But the lymphatic system, for some reason, doesn't have built in pumps. So the way that it does pump and move stuff through and push it out so it can be excreted is through movement. Now, it can be incredibly gentle. It can be like
Yeah.
manual therapies where people
Yeah.
do lymphatic drainage treatment.
Yeah.
And that's a very high level skill thing, by the way. Don't just be doing that on anyone. They need to be certified and know what the hell they're doing,
Yeah.
especially if there's any kind of disease state already. Really, really important. But there's great practitioners out there. Or you just need to move your body very gently so that that can be the process that actually happens. Otherwise, it doesn't.
I would say I want to just something I learned in a class I took was simply bouncing,
Mm-hmm.
like gravitational, just like so when you talk about movement, it's not like go for a run, I mean it can be just like just a light bounce, even just up on your tippy toes and down, up and down, just gets the body moving. But you're right, like lifting weights or stretching, some gentle movements can also movement. It's
Swimming,
yeah,
anything,
deep
anything.
breathing to circulate the
People
fluid.
who are ill, and cannot
Mm.
move, this is a
It
big
backs up.
challenge. Yes.
Yeah,
So you will
yeah.
see they'll have compression boots on them. They'll have all these devices. They'll
Mhm.
have people coming in and moving their body for them. If somebody is stuck in bed for a long period of time, we've got to get them up. We've got to move those fluids around. We can't allow those fluids to back up in
Yeah,
these systems, because then toxicity sets in and all these other downstream effects. It's going to be a big problem. You know, it
yeah.
really, the regulation of your blood pressure, everything is
Mhm,
impacted
mhm.
by the fluid balancing or imbalance within your body. It's just, it can't be stressed enough.
And I think we see it, I think more Western medicine are seeing that also. It used to be the theory was like post-surgery, just like stay put, like lay in bed, just like whatever. Now, like
Elevate, elevate.
after a heart attack, they're like, get your ass up. Like you need to get moving because they know, like, oh, his body's just been under a tremendous something, right? Surgery, something's going on that's not well. Get them up, get them vertical, get them take a walk, light walk, whatever it is, because it's a different understanding we have now of the body. So,
And it's
yeah,
primarily for those fluids, the blood circulatory and lymphatic circulatory systems, to be moving,
yeah.
stimulating the nervous system and all the soft tissue and the muscles and the bones and joint. It's not so, can I get stronger? Because you might not feel like, oh, I'm going to do freaking squats or whatever it is. No, it's not about that at all. It's literally about moving the fluids around the body.
Yeah, right on. And I also want to talk, one of the big things that you're a proponent of, and we're talking off air about, I mean, you already sweat a lot with your, where you live and stuff like that, but like saunas and the importance of like sweating, dude. So heat therapy, saunas, steam rooms, they help us detox also. So sweating is one of the body's primary elimination pathways, as we've, talked about. They can move heavy metals, other environmental toxins that the liver and kidneys might struggle to process, right?
Why do you think your sweat smells?
Bacteria. It's all that bacteria.
Exactly.
Get it
Why
out.
does it smell?
Yeah, yeah.
And people will be like, oh, I better put stuff on. I'm stinky. I got to hose everything. I spray it all down and whatever. So they're actually putting chemicals on
Oh,
top of what the body is just trying to get that out.
don't.
Let it get out. Sweat more, rinse it off,
Yes.
do soaks, do dry brushing, help it through the elimination pathway. Don't spray a perfumey doodah on top of it.
Antiperspirant, like just get anything that deodorant if you have to, but antiperspirant, stop it. Just stop it. You want to perspire. You do not like you have lymph nodes in your
Mm-hmm.
armpits and
Yep.
people see them get, all impacted and backed up and stuff. What do you think is going on? I don't know. I think like some of this breast cancer is these lymphs in the women's breast backed up by stuff not moving because they're putting all this stuff to stop the toxins leaving their body in certain areas. So anyway,
Yeah, and so just final note on lymphatic system, it does drain through the portals, which are up here in the
mm,
upper chest region.
mm,
So when you're doing these things, actually post elevating of feet,
mm.
legs up wall, legs elevated, whatever, hand above heart, all that stuff. You're trying, just like with circulatory blood flow, you're trying to get the lymphatic blood, or excuse me, the lymphatic fluids back into that same region. And that's where it moves through and moves out. So
Mm.
you're going from the feet up, from the hands in, okay, for anything that you might be doing in terms of exercising or movement.
Nice, nice. And let's talk about one more, and that's the importance. We touched on a lot of physical, but the importance of the vagus nerve.
OMG, that's a whole show, dude. What?
So I'm
First of
sorry.
all, who knows what the vagus nerve is? Just like who knows what
I
the
know.
lymphatic system is? Well, of course
Yeah,
we do, because we're
yeah,
obsessed with these things.
yeah, yeah.
This
Say it.
is the coolest thing ever.
No.
Vagus nerve. Okay, people,
That's
just
a cool
again,
name.
can you
Yeah.
just Google a few of these things? You want to have your mind blown?
What is going on?
I
VAGUS, vagus nerve. Yeah.
It is the coolest part of the human body. I'm sure of it. There's
Mm,
no doubt in my mind. From a very empowering sense. All of these other things are too. The more you know about your body and how it works,
mm,
the more empowered you're going to be to take care
mm,
of it and to
mm.
be honored and to be just so blown away at the
Yeah.
miraculous nature of who we are as humans. Like my appreciation for being human is just, I'm always blowing my own mind. But with the vagus nerve, and how much impact that nerve and the health of that nerve
Mm,
is on your mental and
mm,
emotional body.
mm, mm,
Whoa, dude.
mm.
Whoa.
So
This
what?
is
So
where all good, like new psychotherapy and mental and emotional health is going towards
and
it.
I'm sure all of our nerves have a name. Like if you talk to a nerve specialist, whatever. But the vagus nerve, a lot of people know because of it's important, and it's the one. And tell me if I've got this right. That connects your brain to your gut, right?
Hmm.
So there, it runs through about the middle of your chest, down through your gut, right? And it's constantly sending signals back and forth. Like, how are we doing down here? Do we need more? Whatever. So it's the longest, we call it cranial nerve in your body, and its signals are going back and forth, and it influences digestion, inflammation, and emotional state,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And chronic stress can suppress your vagus nerve from functioning. So if we're
Yes.
under chronic, emotional stress or whatever, what it does is it stops, telling the digestive system everything's okay. Like it sends disruptive measures down there, or disruptive messages down there. And it hinders your body's ability to, that rest and digest, that sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system. If the body's under stress, like it can't rest and digest. So like things get out of balance. And it's crucial for repair and detoxification.
Yeah, I think just to really double click on the fact that it's connecting the brain and the gut.
Mm.
And so those two things are just how we survive. Okay. So this is very survival instinct
Yeah,
activity going on here.
yeah.
If the brain is not working well or the gut is not working well, then the entire health of the being is
Mm,
compromised.
yeah,
So if there is a threat or if there is any
yeah,
kind of illness, if there's anything that is seen as a threat to the human being,
yeah, survival.
animals also, I'm sure, but let's just talk about humans, then that nerve is going, oh, red alert, red alert, red alert, red alert. The problem is there can be something very minor like a boss you don't like
A
or
text.
traffic or a
Yeah.
nasty text from your ex or 1,000 things that happen throughout the day can be sending a red alert,
Mm,
right? So
mm,
that is always under stress.
yeah,
That nerve is always in hyper vigilant mode, if you will,
yeah.
which will impact your gut. So it could be
Mm,
that the gut's not healthy, and so therefore it's dysregulating your brain, or it could be that the brain is offline, dysregulated because of all the stress we're under, and that's sending a message to the gut. So just the fact that these things are completely reliant on one another,
totally.
completely reliant,
Two-way.
is unbelievable, mind blowing. So then we have to
Totally.
say, well, of course, if people then have compromised nutrition
Yeah.
or something going on in their digestive tract, like I have this infection, right? Then their mental well-being is going to be offline, and vice
Totally.
versa. My
Totally.
mental well-being is offline. I've got a lot of anxiety, depression. I have all these things going on, etc. Gut dysregulation, which ultimately is the whole health of the body, will of course be offline. This is to me like health 101. This is what we should have actually learned in health 101 is this is how your body works. And if you kind of dial it down to these few kind of core systems, with the vagus
Mm,
nerve being the communication and then these
mm-hmm.
other systems, if you would just teach children this,
Yeah.
never mind us adults. I mean, I'm kind of
Yeah.
pissed off. I'm learning this in my 50s. What in the
Yeah.
hell? You know what I would have done different for the first 50 years?
A lot.
And this is
Mhm.
how I want my grandchildren to learn now. And of course, my
Yeah.
friends and family and anybody that I can come into touch with is like, first, let's just talk about how your body works so you
Mm,
can become friends with your
mm.
own body.
Because you create your own well-being, or just, or sometimes we don't feel empowered to know what's causing this. Why do I feel so, we just think like, oh, brain fog is just like
Dude.
everybody's got it, or oh, this is the way that it is. We just accept or settle for something. And it's like, no, understand these things and your ability to unwind something that you might be causing or you might be able to affect and impact at the root, not just putting topical creams or, addressing the symptoms.
Well, I'll speak from experience, but also, whoo, I mean, hundreds of people at least that I have talked to and worked with in whatever capacity is because we weren't taught that sort of foundational knowledge and wisdom, we felt that our bodies were our enemies.
Mm,
They were going against us by not cooperating, right? Not
mm,
being functioning well, not being healthy, not looking healthy, not whatever. So it felt more like us
The
against our
body's against me.
body.
Yeah.
Yes. Like my
Mhm.
body's turning against me. It's doing these things. My body got this disease. My body got, has acne. My body, like as if it's two separate things and it's us against them. And all we're
Yeah.
trying to do is get that body under control, if you will.
Yeah.
We are our body.
And people not understanding, I mean, yes, there is a genetic DNA component to disease. However,
It's
a
very small.
huge percentage is us and the things that we're exposed to, allowing ourselves to be exposed to, doing to our thoughts, minds, all of that. That's allowing our body to arrive at a disease state, right? Like if you push the engine too long, it's going to break down, right? Like you talked about your whole breakdown with your mental emotional well-being many years ago, and you had to detox through that, like really clean house and turn your life upside down to get the body well-being back.
Yeah, and luckily with genetics now, there's much more science if you're reading the latest science. So there's genetics, and you can be genetically predisposed based on the history of your genes that you
Hmm.
inherited. But
Hmm.
genetically predisposed and epigenetics, which is everything you do and the environment does around you,
Yeah.
actually will determine whether that gets triggered or not.
Right.
This
Right.
is all the empowered area.
Yeah.
Okay, so if
Yeah.
10% is this predisposed genetic pathway that you
Right.
inherited, but then the other 90% is epigenetics, which is all the things you have control over. It's a very different conversation for me to have
Yeah.
with myself or
Yeah.
somebody that I love. Like, let's make sure we're doing everything in the 90% we can
Hmm.
to be proactive, engaged,
Hmm.
educated, and even
Hmm.
if disease state sets in for whatever reason, like, how can I, to the best of my abilities, be of
Responsible.
service and
Yeah.
responsible to healing this, be part of that solution, not part of the problem.
Yeah. Don't just turn it over to what the doctors say or their protocol or, this is, what the experts are saying. It's like, no, take responsibility back, right? And oftentimes, I'm sorry, it's a lifestyle change. There's
Mm-hmm.
something emotionally, physically, eating, whatever, not moving that you're likely doing that cleansing is a start to that, right? Like it kickstarts it, but there's probably a lifestyle course shift if you've got something that's lingering or, recurring, if you will, or, heavier duty like a disease, right?
I don't know any disease state that doesn't
Yeah.
have a lifestyle modification.
Yeah.
I don't know any, literally. And unfortunately, depending on the stage of the disease, it is going to be different,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But again,
yeah.
we're talking about being proactive here. If you can proactively do as much of the lifestyle modifications based on this,
Yeah.
maybe genetically predisposed, or maybe a precursor to diabetes, or maybe
Hmm.
a slight elevation in cholesterol, or a slight elevation in blood pressure, or whatever the things are you're seeing now
Hmm.
as warning signs on the dashboard of this car that you're driving,
Hmm.
take them seriously, make those
Mm.
modifications. If you do it before you're really in disease state, it's much easier than
Yeah.
I have a couple people close to me who I'm working with that are in very high-end disease states, very far down the pipeline of these diseases, and making these modifications are very challenging. I'm not saying we're not doing it, we're doing it, but boy, is it hard when you
Yeah.
get really, really ill
Yeah.
versus I just don't feel good. And many
Yeah.
people can identify with right now, I just don't feel great, and I should.
And I want to, something that you're pointing out, and I get, further disease states, but I just can't, I'm surprised how many people accept, let's say, a diagnosis or a prescription from a doctor and then go on that protocol. Like, I'm just thinking about how many people are just like, oh, yeah, I've got high blood pressure medicine. And they're just like accepting that. And
Or
it's
they,
like,
they say, I have high blood pressure because my grandfather and my parents do, and all this other stuff. I hear that actually quite a bit. And that's
yeah,
actually a very modifiable disease based on lifestyle. I mean, it's the science is just there. It's proven. It's like 99%. I mean, it's just crazy kind of number. So
yeah.
if you're in a case where you need to bring something down quickly because there's
Hmm.
a danger, then that's different. Okay, I'm going to temporarily do this thing until I can make the lifestyle modifications, right? But then I'm going
Hmm.
to get very on task with that. And maybe you're not in the right practitioner's hands, or you don't feel empowered enough. So that's what these kind of conversations that you and I are hosting are about, is
Hmm.
if we can do anything, we are here to empower the people.
Hmm.
Owning your body and your life is paramount. And really, it's why you and I freaking exist.
Yeah.
okay, and
Yeah.
why this show exists.
Yeah.
So we're not saying we have all the answers, but we are here to tell you that you be the boss of you,
Yeah.
nobody else,
Yeah.
and you deserve more.
To
You
feel
deserve
good. To
better.
feel
Oh my
good.
gosh, yes.
I want to say one thing about, the process and so detoxes aren't a permanent thing.
No.
So it's like they're often and we could talk a little bit about when and whatnot, but some people, depending on your advanced level of what you're up to in your life, you got people that are going for this like age reversal type of mentality or biohacking and stuff like that. Like they're doing cleanses every week or every month. I would say there a lot of practitioners of cleansing say quarterly. I think uh, seasonal is important to look at, right? Cleansing can lower the body temperature. So if you do it in winter, just know that like you'll have a lower set
That's
temperature.
why Samantha Pruitt doesn't do juice detoxing. Just
Oh,
juice only. I freeze my ass off. I'm literally walking around with a snow
ah.
parka in the middle of summer. Yeah, yeah. It's anyway. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So just know like detoxes, cleansing is a mild intervention, can be major depending on where your state is at, and they're timed, right? So some people do them once a year, some people do them never, but quarterly is common. I would say every 6 months. There's people that do that commonly. Once a year, I think, is a minimum to just support the body, especially with the direction that the environmental toxins have gone. And so just looking at, okay, if you're going to start in one, I want to say one more thing about skin because it's so important that I wasn't aware of this, even though I was an organic food eater and I had done some cleansing. Like I didn't get like things I put on my skin and in my hair, like toothpaste, skin creams, face creams, hair, like that stuff, Matt, dish soap, laundry soap, like people don't get that realm, like all these smelly products that go into their, like I walk by, laundromats and there's all these chemicals coming out of these laundromats. I'm like, y'all, no, like you sleep in a pillow all night with like perfumes and stuff, or you know, uh, I go in, there's that store that's all about the body lotions, the bath store or whatever it is. And it's all, you go in there and it just overwhelms you with the smell. And it's like, oh my, you and I, with our backpacking, like when you go into the woods and it's like nature smell and you come back into society and you smell all the perfumes that our culture has added to stuff,
I
candles with
was.
smells,
I just
right?
have to add this funny story. I was going up a mountain recently. There was these three young females I passed. Love it. And the amount of perfume coming off, they had the makeup, the whole thing. I was like, wow, you guys looking hot out here. Cause I mean, I'm sure I smelled like, I don't know.
Something else. Yeah.
But anyway, I went back and I was like, I made a comment about the gal's perfume in a nice, loving way. But I was like, wow, you smell better than anything I've smelled in a week or whatever. I was on this backpacking trip. And then she said something, I can't remember what it was. And then it dawned on us, and we all started laughing out loud that she was attracting wildlife, probably with this
Oh,
smell. Because she's like, well,
smell.
the bugs are eating me alive. That's what she said. The bugs are eating me alive. And I said, well,
Oh,
they're attracted to the smell.
right, right.
But here's the
So,
thing, this is food. We're
yeah,
putting things on our body.
yeah.
We should be willing to eat those things.
Mm, mm.
Okay, because they're going right into your circulatory system, which are eventually going to make it into your other organs. So if you're not willing to eat it,
Hmm.
don't put it on you.
One of the biggest surprises to me when when a naturopath, in my 40s was like, oh, you might want to supplement with some progesterone. Oh, okay. How do I ingest that? Oh, here, it's a cream. I was like, I'm gonna get a hormone through a cream? Like that blew my mind that like, oh, I put this on, hormones come in my body. Imagine things that you're not paying attention to what's in the label,
Mhm.
how if that cream kind of affect my body's, female hormone system, what I'm putting on it, what I'm washing my dishes with, what I'm laundry soaping, whatever.
Can I just say something
Yeah.
that freaked me out when I learned this years ago? Through your feet,
Oh,
baby powders in your shoes, all that stuff, no. And also through your private parts, putting powder in your underwear or in your areas that you think are going to get sweaty and stinky. Hell no.
No,
Heck
no, no.
no.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting a little,
Contrary effects. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, we're
Okay.
getting a little ranty. Sorry, people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I hope we've covered, some truths for
I want to
us
say
anyway.
something. I just
Yes.
remember one more thing. Well, I got about 100,000 things when it comes to this, but if you're not comfortable doing this, and many people won't be if you've never done it before, and you and I didn't start this way, right? This is 25 years in the
Mhm.
making here. Find a health practitioner, so a
For
holistic
sure.
health therapist, a naturopath, a functional medicine doctor. There are people that specialize in this.
Hmm. Hmm.
Specialize in this. This is their whole world. Okay, so
Yeah.
find somebody like that you can lean on to, if it's going to be something deep, have it be a supervised process. If it's going to be
Yes.
something very light, then they can at least give you the protocols and give
Yes.
you the instructions and all that kind of stuff. Like I went to the Chopra
Yeah.
Center for Wellness down in San Diego. When I first started, I was studying Ayurvedic medicine at the time. This is now literally, what, 28 years ago or whatever, and went through their Panchakarma cleanse. It was a 7 day
Wow.
detox. Mind blowing, was freaking amazing. I was so sick at the time, and I felt so grateful to be
Oh.
in the care of these people. I mean, it was just an exceptional
Hmm.
experience for me to kind of a gateway into this world.
Yeah.
But there are so many resources out there. You've got resources. We'll drop them obviously in the show notes. But so
Yeah.
find somebody who knows what they're doing to get
Yeah.
you started. It's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah. And if and take recommendations, people who've done them before, if
Mhm.
that's like that was some of the ways that I started, so depending on people's financial ability to afford, certain practitioners and stuff, like I said, don't jump into the deep end, start slowly, if you will.
Mhm.
And try one, try a 24-hour, try a 3 day, something like that, right? I think you'll be amazed. And just give, I have a feeling we're going to have a phase two of this. It's coming. But phase one, I want to say, expect, just like when you get a cold, like you don't feel so good for a little bit, right? Like your body's
Mhm.
like working hard to, if you finally stop adding more toxins in, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, I can get rid of some of this junk for one, right? So you might
Mhm.
go through, depending on how long your cleanse is, a period of bleh, whether it's low energy, you know, gunk coming out, you had, stuff coming out your face and all sorts of areas of your body or whatever. So just be gentle with yourself and know, like, okay, I'm gonna, like I said, don't jump on the deep end, and depending on your level of need, though, right? Like how great you.
Yeah. If you're already having symptoms, you need to be slightly more aggressive. If you're just curious about this, do all the things that are free.
Mm,
Okay? Examine the air you're breathing in and
mm,
outside of your home. Take a look. Have you cleaned the filters lately? Are you breathing fresh air?
mm.
Is it
Circulated.
recirculatory air
Yeah.
from either other people or pets
Mm,
or things in your house that are not
mm,
healthy? And
mm-hmm,
then water. Where is your water coming from? Have you had your water
mm-hmm.
tested? Are you drinking filtered water? Because anything that's coming out of a tap at this point is problematic. So, filtered water, ideally not water coming from plastic bottles. So, there's some very simple things that you could just be doing right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sweat, move your body. These things again are free. You're already going to drink water. You're going to already breathe air. You're
Yeah.
already going to hopefully move your body. But
Yeah.
like get a nice gentle sweat where actually toxins are coming out of your body, and allow your body to sweat. I
Mm,
mean,
mm.
I sweat, and me, that is my thing, lady. And I live in the desert and I still want a sauna or
Yeah.
a red light sauna or some kind of, I still want it. I still want it. And then just examining your environment. So you
Yeah.
talked about soaps and lotions and shampoos and things like that. Cleansing materials. What are you cleansing your house with?
Yes.
Okay. So,
You're, oh, dude, like
mhm.
when I'm cleaners, I see them walk in with like the smelly, yeah, my gosh, it's like, yo, you're ingesting it, you're smelling and stuff. The Febrezes and the scented oils and the plug-in things, like get that. No, no more of that. No more of that.
Yeah. So you
You're,
can do all that without having to hire anybody or,
mhm,
make any radical
mhm.
commitment to a 3, 7 or multi-day cleanse.
Read your labels, and if you like, sometimes what's great about being in the RV is like, you can't be putting things down the drain that, just gonna go into nature and stuff like that. Like it's got to be better protected. Like some of these dish soaps that people, use, if it can't just go be out in nature, if it would destroy that, it's like, holy smokes,
Uh,
hello.
I've got another great resource. We'll drop a link to this. It's called The Good Energy book.
Oh, okay.
I just
Okay.
finished that. It's great, but it has some really good resources in the book specific about these things that we're talking about. And
Perfect.
also it has a health 101 human.
Mm.
Hey, let me tell you how your body works. I
Mm.
mean, it's more around the energy systems like the mitochondria and things,
Mm.
cellular stuff that I'm fascinated with, but it's not boring at all. It's super user
Mm.
friendly. So
Mm.
I'm going to put that book up too for the audience to check into.
And I just want to say the go-to that I've used over and over again, just I'll drop it here and we'll have it in the show notes, is Dr. Scholl's I
Hmm.
think it's Schulze. It's more herb-based for cleansing, so it's like helping your elimination through herbs and tinctures and stuff like that. There's also the John Douillard's Life Spa. I've done his Colorado Ayurvedic cleanse, which is more food, like eating apples and things to help the fiber and whatnot. But there's lots of resources out there. So get informed, talk to AI, your favorite AI. Don't trust it all the time, but just start to walk into the shallow end or deep end if you need it. And contact us. You're a walking Wikipedia. You'd be happy to give people some feedback on what's been working and how you're doing. So
And currently, right now, I'm with Parsley Health, which is a functional medicine system program, if you will. They do take insurance, which is
yeah.
amazing. Parsley Health. It's a female founder, started the company several years ago and has been able to expand it sufficiently that they can actually take insurance now. And that's when I switched over because generally these things can be more expensive. And so the protocol I'm doing is through them with my team there. So you literally are assigned a team of people to work with you. It's mind blowing. And that's what I'm up to.
Yeah. And it's based in functional medicine, if I remember correctly,
It's all
right? So
functional
she's
medicine.
scaling functional medicine, allowing insurance and stuff like that. Just amazing. I wish that company the best of success. It sounds like it's from your experience has been amazing. So
And functional medicine is the integration of what is in Western that is reasonable and what makes sense with holistic naturopathic medicine
yeah,
and looking for root cause. So it's basically root cause medicine.
yeah, which is what we want to get to. Because if you just keep dabbling at the symptom level, your body could just be off track more and more and more. More.
Dude, I'm absolutely sure I would not be sitting here. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely sure. There's no doubt in my mind.
Wow.
And
Right.
it's really makes me sad to think how many people aren't here today, or the
Mm.
people who are here and are freaking miserable in a
Yeah.
very serious disease state. And it didn't need to happen.
And you can be high functioning, I mean,
Yeah,
you don't need to be doing endurance runs necessarily, but be just high
maybe you do.
function.
Maybe.
Get around Samantha, you will be, but it's just about being high functioning. Whatever high functioning is and healthful and what brings you joy and vitality, that's what we want for you. That's what we want for you, right? And anything that is not that, get it addressed. Don't deal with dabbles and symptoms. Get to the root of it in every area. So all right, my dear, what's our one thing from this episode? What's the one thing we want to leave people with about cleansing and the truth about detoxes?
Well, my one thing is I want them to try something. So if
Mm.
they do that kind of free version we ran through at the end, examine your water, your air, your environment, great. If they do something next step, like I'm going to try a weekend or a 3 day, great,
Yeah.
whatever it is, but try something because everybody's system is burdened. None of us are not burdened. It's just the world that we live in now. There's no judgment, there's no guilt, there's no drama around this. Okay. It's just a matter of this is the reality of the environment
Mm.
that we all are living in. And so everybody has some kind of toxic burden. So they should do something.
And mine is for those that have done something and wanted to go next level. So
Okay.
like, you know what? Take on that, like if you've done a 3 day, okay, go for a 7. If you've done a 7, do a 21, like really get after it. Like how good can you feel, right? Like give your body a break or maybe commit to doing it regularly. Maybe do it on a quarterly. And I'm speaking to myself here too, because it's time for me to, being on the road and stuff. It's like you've been too, right? So it's like, okay.
Road food.
Ah, yeah, yeah, and the
Hmm.
stress of that, if you will. So, all right,
Hmm.
beautiful. Well, what do we want to
Okay.
remind our beautiful humans of today as we sign off?
Oh, you lovely human beings. How their life feels is more important than how it looks.
Yeah, and every day is your opportunity to find your awesome.